Recording.
Hi everyone, Ellie and Mariana here again, bringing you a tool. So we were originally going to do a time lapse, but it turns out because we have raster data sets, there's no attribute table, and so we couldn't even put in any time data. So we had to figure out what to do about that, and we figured out that you can build an attribute table for raster data. So usually when you go to a raster data set, and you right click on it, the attribute table is grayed out and you can't click on it because there's no attribute table associated with it. So you can actually build those, and that's what we're going to teach you how to do. So there's a few steps. You're going to first copy your raster data set. This is all laid out in a Google Doc, which we will give you guys along with your this video. And so the first step, and Mariana is going to go through and demo all of this, is to copy the raster. And then you will use the tool, which is pretty straightforward, build attribute table, build raster attribute table. But then it's going to trick you and you're going to think you're done and you're not really done. And Mari will show you this, but you're going to have to go to your default geodatabase or wherever you saved it and add that back to the map, what you just created, because otherwise you won't be able to see the attribute table. But then you will be able to see it, and Mari will show you all of that, and then all of this text will make sense. So I'm going to turn it over to her.
Now. Hello, everyone. I am going to be doing the demo. So I have shared my screen, and this map may look familiar because you guys saw it a couple weeks ago. We just left one layer on there, and that is our 10-foot sea level rise layer. And I will be demonstrating how to build an attribute table for the raster file. So there are two tools that you will need: the copy raster and the build raster attribute table. There are two ways to get there. What you can do is you could either go to analysis, then tools, and then you go all the way down to data management tools, double click that, and then go all the way down to raster, where you will find both tools. Or what you can do is just go to, what was it, tools? And just look up the name of the tool. So in this case, it's copy raster. Double click on that. And so for the input raster, we are going to be putting the 10-foot. And then we'll be changing the pixel type from 32-bit float to 32-bit signed. It's just a more efficient way of storing the data. Then we're going to click run, and that'll take a couple seconds to minutes.
And I'll just interject here that you'll notice that it just default named your copy, which you can change if you'd like, but you can also just leave it as is. You can also click the folder to change where it's going to be saved. And those other options, which we just left as default, are for other specific applications that you might need. Like, for example, if you need to convert a color map to a 3-band raster using RGB, you would click that button. So each of them do different things that are they can be explained by clicking the little I in much detail, but for our purposes, we just leave them as default.
Alrighty, so our raster is still, oh, okay, so it's completed. So now, now that it has been copied, we go to another tool. So you could either search for it, or you will find it under raster, under the raster properties, and here it is, the build raster attribute table. So double click on that, and then we will input what we just copied, which is the 10-foot sea level rise, and then we will run it and wait. Shouldn't take too long. And as you can see, it's the program automatically added the copy raster to the contents pane. Now the problem here is that we are not done yet, as Ellie mentioned, because we still can't access the attribute table. So what you do is you go back to catalog on the right, you click on your database, and all of the raster files that you have copied will show up. So we did, I believe this is the one that we just did. So we double click that and then we add it to the current map, which is the top layer. And success, we have access to an attribute table.
Yay!
Yeah. And so just double clicking on, or just clicking on the different records will show you the depth of the sea level rise. And that concludes our demo presentation. Thank you for listening.